Tara, samahan niyo ako muli. Last time we talked about what is our sale price target. For this week, let's see what would be the good buy zone.
This is Healthy Minds giving you bites and pieces of crypto news.
Welcome back again to our channel. So once again, we'll be talking about the crypto market, especially Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoins. So we got here Ether, Litecoin, ADA, even KUCOIN, VET, Kusama, Zio, Isaac, Luna, and ICP. Feel free to comment down below, and perhaps we could also add it on our next feature. So let's start this now. Currently, we are sitting at 1.944 trillion at the market cap overall, and the BTC is again down to 44.2%. It seems like the market sentiments into altcoins are rising. And as you can see here, for the last 7 days, Bitcoin is up by almost 2%, and we're now playing at 45,800 plus. So seems like we are getting some bit sideways action and a little bit of correction, which is we expected already last time, as how we discussed this market will move for this week. And alongside with it is Ethereum. It's currently up by 0.5% for the last 7 days. Binance at 13.5%. Followed by Cardano at 42% for the last 7 days. And then we also have here XRP on the 56% up and 11.7% for today. And along with the other coins here, mostly are still in green if we talk about the 7 days period. And for today, they are experiencing a bit slow on the market. So what else do we have here on the Fear and Greed Index? As you can see, we are now back on the 70 plus. As for the greed, yesterday is actually considered as extreme greed already. It's punching that greed zone at 76. But the extreme fear is only at 22 for the last month. But if you're going to check that also, since last July 21st, we actually went down into 10 for the Fear and Greed Index, but now we are hovering at the 70 plus. So what does it mean and how we could actually play this market? First, let's try to check what is DXY or the dollar index. As we know, this is compared to the rest of the top currencies in the world. And right now, it seems like that dollar is actually plummeting, and this might actually continue to go down. It might even test this previous support around 91. It depends on the movement of the global market, but obviously this area at the 93% is playing as a strong resistance for the dollar. And as we know, in comparison to Bitcoin, if we have a downward action in dollars, that is also the boom or the upward movement of the Bitcoin, since this has a inverse correlation between the two. So perhaps I could actually show that to you guys for you to have an idea on what we're talking about. Let's try to change this in line, and let's try to compare this on Bitcoin price. So from here, we'll be able to imagine what we are actually talking about. So it's very clear that every time that we have a downward action in dollar, which is the blue line, that is also the time that Bitcoin goes up. So if you're going to check even backward, here you could clearly see that every time the dollars goes up, that is the time also that the Bitcoin goes down most of the time. And since this one started way back before even the 2017, 2018 bull run, just like what we showed before, that every time that a dollar goes down, Bitcoin is actually rising up. So this is actually one good tool that we could use to check also the market. And you could only see here in Healthy Minds this cast. Now, on the other market, we're going to show also the SPX or the S&P 500. This is actually the stock market in US, where we could see it continuously to make a whole time. It continuously makes all-time high, registering in this market, but seems like we are actually creating a pennant, which is, you could consider, a bearish action. So we could expect, if this will continue, definitely there will be a correction later on in the market, but the question is when. So with that, we'll try to observe what does the charts will tell us on how we could utilize this. And if we have an inverse correlation with the dollar index for the S&P, as long as market continuously goes up, we could also expect that Bitcoin will go up temporarily until we lost this trend. But basically, these two seems like have that correlation. So we will continue to observe that and keep you guys updated. Now back to Bitcoin, let me actually show you something here. Let's try to see this in a longer time frame for you guys also to have the overview of the market here in weekly time frame. Using the logarithmic curve zone, we could actually see that we are hovering now on this yellow area, which is the median area. We found a support on our green zone, which is a good buy zone. But at the same time, this is the decision part where Bitcoin will eventually choose if we will go up or we will go down on this market. So from there, we'll be able to see if Bitcoin will be breaking this resistance, or if not, then are we expecting this bear market? Continuing this one, well, from here we could simply interpret that there is also still a long way run if you're going to ask me where this market will go. So observing this, it seems like we are still have this long way run that we could expect on the market until we reach this oversold area. And as for me, that would be a great selling point or taking profit in using this logarithmic, especially if you are identifying the time frame, which is on the weekly basis. So as I said, this is going to be a macro overview of the market. Now, speaking of time frames, let's go now on the lower time frames for us to be able to see also what will be the next move of Bitcoin in short term. Well, last time I already discussed this, that we are hitting the 0.5 fib, our move to the upward. And what we are expecting here is if we will break this move, this 0.5 fib, then the next target area is the 0.61865 fib golden zone. But before we go there, we are also expecting that this 0.38 might act a good support. So with that, there's a big possibility that we might actually test this zone. So we are still not out of the woods. I don't like to give any false alarm or any false hope with the community. So that's why we are continuously monitoring this. But as like what I said and posted already, that this golden zone is going to be a huge test if we will continue to challenge this previous high that we had, almost 65,000, and then made our run to higher target. But currently, this is going to be a challenge for us because there will be a different scenarios that could happen here. If you're going to check the previous bull market that end up also for a huge correction, this 0.65 and 0.61 golden ratio is always been a challenge in the market. So let me also show you an example here for you guys to have an idea. This is actually the last 2019 bull run before the Black Swan pandemic. So if you're going to measure this movement up to this area, you can notice that we tested this 0.5 and attempt to push to 0.65, 618 golden, but it didn't even reach that. It only tried to poke the 0.5 fib, and from there it was pushed downward, plus the fact that we had that Black Swan event. So from here, this downward movement and then trying to recover, it fails. Another one is during the 2017-2018 bull run. You will go and test it from the top bottom to this one huge run. Here you will see that it also attempted to test this move again, but it didn't even reach the 0.5. So it only turns out that its attempt to poke the 0.5 but didn't even reach it, and that one actually caused us to have that huge correction down to almost 3,000 level. So at least from here you will be able to understand that there is this possibility that might actually run up in the market. That's why I explained it before, that you're still not out of the woods. So you better set your target and make sure that you take your profit. Remember, profit is a profit no matter what, no matter how big or small it is. As long as you protected your capital, that is already one huge good principle that you could practice. Always do your risk management, because one good strategy is not just to take profit or gain, but at the same time is protect your capital. Now, moving on, next we have here Ethereum. And currently we are attempting to test the 618. It's almost touched it already. And from here, you will see in 4 hours that we actually created already this upward movement. So somehow we have a channel already that Ethereum is trying to follow. So we are on the bridge of breaking the support. If this will break, what we could expect here is we might test this 0.5 around 3,000, and then I'm hoping that this will bounce and try to test again this upward movement. If fails, then the next possible support is this yellow line that we identified, this previous highs that act as a resistance, also that might act as a support. As you can see here, it actually acts as support on this area. Then if this will fail, if this will act as support, we might actually test the 0.5, and still these are the possible scenarios in a bearish movement. So at least you might ready yourself that 3,000, 2,900 and 2,700 range might be also on the table. But on the other hand, if we're going to talk about the bullish scenario, after testing this 0.5, we might go back here, break this one, and perhaps we might create a higher low here as a support, and finally break this 6.5, 618 golden ratio. And the next level of target is going to be around the 3,700, 3,800. That's it for the short analysis with Ether. Of course, this will also depend on how Bitcoin will move. As I already mentioned before, that The characteristic of the altcoins during the bull market is if Bitcoin continues to move up, lag a bit. But it doesn't mean that it will not recover much faster and higher gains during those movements. At the same time, Bitcoin will able to find defined range where it's hovering. You could actually expect also for the alts to continuous move up and blow us away. So from there, we could expect huge gain as well on the alts. That's one of the reasons that if Bitcoin actually top the ATH all-time high around 65,000 during April. But if you're going to check Ethereum, it actually reached its all-time high recorded almost after a month. On May, it recorded it. So there's around few weeks of logs for this altcoins to continue going up, while Bitcoin is hovering on that channel that it's created. So well-defined channel. I hope that helps you. But in the other hand, of course, if Bitcoin will have that correction, you expect also that there will be a big dump on this alt. So that's one key that you could also observe. Meanwhile, on Litecoin, last time I'm already expecting to test the 236 fib, and right now, as you can see, after poking it, we actually touched this yellow line again, which is I define as the resistance on this scenario. And finally, it tried to test again the 236. So what are we expecting from this move if that's the case? Well, we already expected this, that if we will poke this, there will be a possible test of support for the 236. And if this will hold, the next line of target is the 222 or 220 level. But in the other hand, on the bearish scenario, this might hold us back to around 150 for a possible test if this will not hold. And from there, we could observe what will be the next move of the market. If this 150 will hold, perhaps that will be a good bounce also that will finally break the resistance line that could actually push us the 220 level. For ADA, this is one of the strongest altcoins. For the past weeks, it's already recorded around this, from this downward movement to this, it's actually reached already the 116, almost 117% move. Wow. And as you can see here, already broke the 61865 golden ratio. It even reached the 7.8. So from here, it was rejected, though it closed here in one day. But for today, it's attempting to test if this will hold also as a support. If not, then the next support that we could expect from here is the 6.5 or 618 golden ratio. And that will be around 2 and 0.19 level. It might even go down to 1.89. This will probably act as a strong support. Remember, this is in one day. So it's going to look on the lower time frame in 4 hours. Currently, we are holding at $2. And as you can see, it's holding here as a possible support. So from here, we'll see if this will act also for another resistance that could actually push us here, or if this will break, what we could expect is the next or testing of our previous all-time high at the 2.5 range. So let's continue to observe this. But as the Bitcoin moves, what we could expect is there's a possibility strong possibility that we might test this level. The next altcoin is KUCOIN. This is actually our second exchange that I and my wife is using besides Binance. So checking it in one day, it also had a huge run. As you could see, it poked already the 0.5, attempting to test the 6.5 golden ratio. And now we are down below the 0.5 fib. In lower time frame, 4 hours, here you could clearly see that we created this channel. So what we could expect is the 10 point almost 11 to be tested again. Somehow it tried to poke the 11.159 level. So let's see if we'll go down here, even to our previous resistance, this yellow line, or the 382 fib. So that would be a good test also of support, though it might break this upward channel. So the next time that it bounces, definitely we could expect that this 0.5 will act also as a resistance. And then let's see if on the second time around, it might hold. If not, then the next level of support is already at the 9.7, which is the 236 fib. Then if this will hold, perhaps we could actually move again upward. But currently, this is what we are expecting. This 382 should act as a strong support. And then the 0.5, somehow, if it breaks through that, then the next target will be the 6.5, 6.1 at golden at the 12.5, 12.2 level. After that, then for there, we could move on to the $13 range. Plus, as you can see, definitely this level here, this range of 13.5 to 14, even to almost 15 range will be a strong resistance. So that will be our next target if this 786 fib will be broken. Now on the V chain, so here you could see that we are now on the 382. Last time, if I still remember, we are just on 2.36, and as you can see, we already expected this target, and right now it's really being rejected on this level 382. So it just poked it. It reaches the height of 13 or 0.13719 as the highest level here. After that, it was rejected again. So let's see the next support that could create as a higher low is this level. So let me show it to you guys. So this could act as support the 0.11 level. As you can see, these are the previous resistance. So general rule is previous resistance could actually act as support at the same time. Those previous support, if broken, might also act as resistance, vice versa. So from here, we will expect already a downward action to the 11.117 range. And then if this will continue to fall down, then expect that the 10 or 0.10585 at the 236 fib could be the next target in short term. But please don't get me wrong, because we all know the bull is still controlling this kind of move in the market. So after testing this one, that could actually lead us for a stronger bounce back and test again this 382, and then finally use that next target at 0.5 pip at 0.6597 for our VeChain people. And Kusama, here in Kusama, almost the same story. So right now we already broke the 236 pip, and now we are trying to test it if this will hold as a support. If that's the case, then that could actually cause us again to move upward, and the next target which is going to be the 0.382 at 325 range. Seal, let's see what happened to Seal in 1 day time frame. So measuring this move from top to bottom, the bounce already broke the 36 or 236 fib. So in lower time frame, 4 hours. I think I already shown this. I had posted this to SEAL community, my chart analysis for SEAL. So this move here might actually test us again this 236, 238 fib. So I'm hoping that that will be a good strong support line down to this level at 0.085. There you go. Then we could move again on our next target. So that's a possible good move. Or again, since these altcoins are moving a little bit larger in comparison to Bitcoin, there's a possibility also that we could even test this green zone here. RLC or ISAC in 1 day, just for you guys to see what's going on here. So we hold this support line that we created. Now we are still, this move is a bit weak in comparison to other altcoins and Bitcoin. So still we are struggling on this yellow line, but this could be a good buy zone also, because the next target is going to be the 5.46 at the 236 fib. What can we expect here since we are being rejected on this one? We might actually test this $3 level, $3.3.2 levels. So this second line, and then proceeding to the 5. And that move, if measuring that move from here, if this will hold, it's actually, wow. As you can see, it's already almost 39-40% if you will reach this target. So this one is a huge move for RLC as we are expecting it, if this will hold. Now, if it will go down on this 3.2, that's a good buy zone also. And somehow this structure line that we made or we're able to identify might cause it to hold and bounce to this level. And if you're going to measure that, it's around 70 plus movement. So this is what we could expect for ISAC community if they wish to go on this trade. For Luna is one of the strongest altcoin also. Besides from fundamentals, its technical is showing strength as well. So here, just like ADA, it's almost, or it's already broke the 0.65618, though it failed in registering to 786 fib. Still, this is such a huge move, and what we could expect from here is to try to test this 6-5 golden ratio support that will actually try to test again this 786. Let's see if this will be broken the next time around, because there is such huge lots of resistance on this area also. So we are not expecting that in one move this will be broken, given that this resistance really act as a strong one. So, but the next time around we will see if this will be broken, since we might possibly register higher low, and the next target aside from that $18 is the $22 event. But currently we are registering higher low, so this move is starting to slow down as well, as there is a bearish divergence on this one on the RSI, while the price is continually moves up. On the RSI, it's registering lower high, but nevertheless we continuously create higher low, so this could have still steam to continue push up and try to test again this previous high at 22.4 level. Finally, the last coin for today is ICP. ICP is a bit weak also in comparison to other altcoins. We will try to measure it from this close, body close, and not on the wick. It's still below the 236 fib. So anyways, you could clearly see its defined move. This one act as a resistance, test this all area, created a lower or high, and then attempt again to move. This part has been broken here, so somehow it's trying to test if this will hold as a support, and finally this could push us finally on the $100 level. So that would be a good move also for this coin. Currently we already moved 186% since July 21st, this move here. So if this will continue to create bull flags, we might actually reach this target at 100 plus level. Once again, we'd like to thank you guys for continuing supporting the channel. Feel free to share, like, and comment down below what are your sentiments if you agree with our technical analysis, and if you guys have any favorite outs that you wish also to add on our charting. So samahan nyo akong muli. Huwag kayong mahiya. Palakasin natin tong community natin. And make sure that even though we are in a bull, in a bear, or sideways action, we will keep you guys updated. Once again, this is Henry. Thank you. Ciao.
This is Digital Health Alliance telling you we're not financial advisor, so always do your own diligence.